Hello, my name is Doug Campbell, and it is my privilege to walk you through an overview of our new product, Trader Vision 2020. We are very excited about this product and think it has the potential to truly help traders become better traders, learn about their trading, and avoid many of the pitfalls that traders often fall into. First, let me let you know that the color scheme that you see here that I have set up for this video is just so that it was easily readable, very clear for the viewer of this video. You are able to establish any color scheme that you choose in the software. So if you don't like this color setup, that's okay. Don't get hung up on that because it is user selected. Across the top here, I'd like to bring a few things to your attention. The frequently asked questions tab, this little button will take you to a web page with lots of questions and answers about the product. The user's manual for the product under this button, and a support button if you are needing help or assistance with your licensing or something. Click there and we'll be happy to help you. The help button right here is to guide you through or help you if you're stuck on a as you're going through the software and not exactly sure what you're supposed to do. The help button can provide a lot of tips to move you along. If you click on the Hit and Run Candlesticks logo here, it will take you directly to the Hit and Run Candlesticks website. And by clicking on the Right Way Options, it will take you to the Right Way Options landing page where you can get additional information about what we do within the two services. Now what we're looking at here is what we call our dashboard view, and it's just really a simple, quick way to look at all your positions that you are currently holding. And right now you can see I've only got one position open in the software. I haven't been using this very long, and I've set up a sample account, started with $100,000 and just been working through some trades to build a database so that we have something to show. So with just one trade open, this doesn't look very impressive, but when we have multiple trades open, these bars will shrink in size and spread out all the way across this graph. Anything above the zero line, you'll be in a positive trade. Anything below the zero line, you're in a losing trade. So very simple, quick graphic to show you where you are. As you can see, I'm in a Macy's trade right here, and all of your trades will be listed in this list that you can scroll through. And you're able to double click on any one of these and bring up your trade plan, the whole enchilada of what you have put together in this trade. You can also just highlight it and click open. So just taking a quick look at the overview page, you see it's showing your current values of the accounts. And by the way, this is, you can select from this drop down list an account. You'll be able to set up as many accounts as you want for this software and have this display just that account only. And you're seeing number of trades open, cost basis, percent of account that's actually being used right now. You can see the pie chart. Very little of the account is actually in a trade right now. 98.5% is not in a trade right now. In the last 30 days, 9 closed trades. Your win rate, average dollar gain loss. So and an expectancy for the next trade. It takes all of your information and calculates an expectancy of what you should be able to do based on your past trading for your next trader position. So looking through this, it's very simple, very easy to look at. Down here you've got a little bit of a just a tally sheet that's going to tell you how you are in the overall portfolio. If you have a dozen trades in here, it will tally all that up, whether your P&L is winning or losing, and your percent gain or loss will display here. This little button down here says online. When this flashes green, what this is doing is going out to Yahoo Finance. We're picking up Yahoo Finance price quotes. So they are just slightly delayed, but by picking up those price quotes automatically, what it's doing is keeping you very close approximation of where all your positions are. So, and that does that automatically. So let's take you through some of the other pages and why I think this software is something special. We're going to go to the goal view here, and under goal view, this is where you'll select or build a goal, something you want to shoot for. And what I did, just to give an example here in this sample account, is I wanted to bring this account up to $125,000 in 12 months with trading profits. So it figures out, by the way, we only fill in these white boxes, so there's not a lot of information you have to fill in here. You can see that that is going to require 1.52% gain to make that happen. Very realistic, or about $1,585 a month to make this happen. And I set this up expecting to do about 15 trades a month. So something very reasonable that I think everyone could achieve. Now, to make this goal happen at 125,000, I need to average $105.73 per trade on the 15 trades to make that happen. Now, this doesn't calculate in potential losses or anything like that. This is just a goal, and it's giving you a description of how you get or how you can reach that goal. So you can see that $105.73 per trade is really not reaching that far, and a very simple and easy way to plan your trades. And I'll show you why this is really important here in just a second. You can also print these goals out and save these goals to this account. Now, this chart right here is just nothing but an equity curve of your goal. So you can see the green here, current goals, would take this account from the 100,000 to 125,000 over a 12-month period of time. The gray line right here is showing how you're doing based on your goals. So right now you can see I'm actually tracking above my current goals. If I stay on this current track, I should be closer to 135,000 in this account. If I continue to do as well as I've been doing here recently, then there's certainly no guarantee of that. If this gray line falls below, you can see you're just tracking below your goal, and it'll give you the ideas on when you look at this, what you have to do to maybe catch up or make that goal happen. Now we're going to go from the goal view here, which is very simple. Oh, by the way, monthly data. You can look through here on the monthly data, and it shows you exactly how you reach this trading goal if you want lots of data. So lots of information here that just automatically calculates as you set these goals. Now you could set this up, you just want to reach a monthly goal. You could set that up. You could set it up that you want this 100,000 to be $1 million in, in 5 years, 60 months. And it'll show you how to get there, how to reach out for that. So let's move over here to the trade view. And to go to the trade view, I'm actually going to pull up an old trade in the trade log. Now, one of the great things about this software is it records all of your trading activity, and it fills in a trade log automatically. You don't have to go in and type this stuff out individually. It's going to save this information under a trade log and give you history, so you can go back and in the performance view, it actually does a statistical analysis of all this data that's created on all these trades, so that you can see what's working for you and what's not. So I'm going to just pull up a trade here. You can see this is closed, DKS, but I'm going to double click on it. And notice it moves me over here right into the trade view. Now there's several things that we fill out on the trade view. Notice I've got a red warning light up here. It's saying that this trade will exceed the dollar loss risk. Now I had set a $500 loss risk on this trade, but I did these kind of because I wanted to demonstrate or display the different features of the software. So you can see I just use the drop down, pick my sample account. Here's the ticker DKS, and I want to trade long. And notice that I've got a color coding here on my market bias. At the time I made this trade, the SPY was trending down, and I was trying to go long a trade. So it brings up this warning light and says, hey, you may want to pay attention that you're trading against the direction of the market. It's not going to stop you from doing it. It's just giving you that warning. Same thing is true here. When I was making this trade, the SPY was below the 50 SMA moving average, and the 50 SMA was falling. So it gives me another warning here saying, hey, pay attention, make sure this is what you want to do. Now from the drop down list here, I picked a bullish morning star on this trade. That's the candle pattern that I saw. And I've marked this as a pullback opportunity. It's a pattern that we trade quite often in the hit and run candlesticks trading room. My entry into this trade, I wanted the price to cross above $40.05 to get me into the trade. And I didn't type in any kind of a trade setup or anything, but this is another data point that you can collect on your trade. Okay, so here's the actual plan of the trade. The trade came in 41.05 was an entry for 100 shares. Now, by doing this trade at a $100,000 account, notice that I'm using over 4% of the account. When I start going past 3%, I get this warning light of yellow saying that make sure you want to be making this trade because you're putting a considerable amount of your capital at risk, and it's just giving you that warning so that you're sure that's what you want to do. I put in all of my trade targets where I think I can go in this trade, and what it does is it automatically calculates right here 42.31. This will meet the goal that I set on the goal tab. The stock would have to go from 41.05 to 42.31. It only has to go up 3% for me to make my goal in the trade. Now, laying out this trade is a very small trade and maybe not the best example as an explanation for the position, but you can see how I broke this out, selling 50 here, 25 and 25, and by doing that I actually beat or make, if that were to occur, I make my trade goal of $190 in this trade. So very simple, tells me what my risk reward is, and the reason it's showing a $4,109 risk is because I'm not showing a stop loss here. If I were to place a stop loss here of, let's say it was 40.25, notice it's showing that I'm risking $89.98 to my stop. So you can attach a chart. You can take a screenshot of your chart and attach it right to this record, so it saves with this record. You can see exactly what you're looking at when you're doing an evaluation of how you did in the trade, whether it was a good trade or not for you. It'll do that automatically. Also, it tells you your break even, and the break-even price is calculating in the cost of your commissions. We have a place in this under the setup tab where you put your commissions in, and it tells you this is what you have to do to just break even on the trade based on your commissions for in and out of the trade. down here is a trade execution. Now, the trade execution, you can go through, let me see, this is the actual, right here. This is the trade plan. So we can close this once we've filled this out. You don't have to leave all of these tabs open where it can be kind of cluttered or too much data to look at. You can close them individually, open them back up individually so that you can see the whole trade, the whole plan, or you can close them down so that you just have the next section that you need to worry about. Now, what I did in this trade is I just said copy plan to actual. I just clicked this button and it copied the plan that I had made for this trade to the actual in the position. So everything just transferred down here automatically. And then I went through and put in the dates. I see I've got a mistake right here that I need to correct. Remove that out. So in your trade planning, you can actually scale into a trade. You'll have 1, 2, or 3 entries into a position. So if you're a person that scales in, or if you go in all at once, and you can have as many as 3 targets on your exits with a stop loss. And your 3 targets, if you choose to do just 1 or 2 targets, not a problem. The software understands what you're doing and it'll calculate out that information. So I transferred this down to the actual trade execution. I was executed in this trade on 329 for 100 shares. Here are the exits, the dates. And by the way, when you select these dates, if you click the drop down, it brings up a calendar. You just select your date. So you don't have to type this information in, you just select your date and it'll do it for you. Notice that right over here, it carries down all of the information that was in the trade plan, carries it down here into the trade execution so that you know it only had to go to 42.31 for you to make your goal. If it went to 42.31, you sold the entire position out, you would have met your goal that you'd set in the goal view. And then further down, we have a trade management section where you can put in notes for your trade. It records when you entered the trade, when you exited the trade, and these would be where you would make adjustments to your stop loss or trade. You can record that information as part of your record. Let's pull up another one. Let's take a look at this HLTH. Now this is a little stock, little tiny stock. But notice again, I was trading long and I was going against the market, so it's giving me these warning lights. All of my patterns and everything has been filled in here. And as I go down the list, you can see this stock only had to go from 286 to 294 for me to reach my goal. And notice here again that I was pushing the limit at this $4 or 4%, 4.5% of the overall account in this trade was 1,600 shares purchased. This number here, shares to buy, what it's actually doing in the setup, I placed a $500 max loss on any one trade, and what this is doing is calculating if I were willing to risk that full $500. It tells me this is the number of shares that I could trade based on my stop loss and my entry. I would be able to buy 1,814 shares and risk $500 in the trade. I trade a little bit differently than that, and so I sized my trade based on my targets and where I wanted to exit the trades. So you can see in this trade, very simple, I entered all here into the trade plan, and I would exit as I listed here for my profits. So as you move down, notice that I'm risking $441 in this trade. My reward to the first target is automatically filled in here at $550. So if I sold the entire position at my first target, $3.21, I would make $550. So you can see well past my goal for my first target. So all of this information is here. Now, this is what the actual trade looked like. I traded 1,600 shares on 310. And I exited 600 shares on 311. I exited 700 shares on 316. And then I ended up getting stopped out on 323 at $3.14. So my overall trade total was 17.39% in the trade. I made $799.08, and that of course is accounting for commissions as well. If you look down here, I've got my trades my adjustments recorded on my stop loss. The third target obviously did not trigger, so there's no shares getting sold here. It all sold down here on my executed stop loss. Very simple to use, very simple product. Now, once you do your trade plan, there's another neat feature here where you can actually click this button right here and copy your trade plan. And if your charting software allows for it, you can paste your trade plan right onto your chart. So your trade plan is always in front of you when you're looking at your chart. Obviously, you can print out your this entire page, new, save, cancel, however you want to do. We also have a chart-based entry. If you click that button right there, it brings up the chart here on HLTH, and you can see how the trade was set up originally. Entry, 3 targets, and a stop loss. If you choose to, rather than filling in the information in the spaces in the trade plan, you can actually come here, select on entry, drag a line to your entry point, and then fill in your targets, fill in your stop loss just by dragging the lines around your chart, and it will automatically fill in your trade plan. Okay, so a couple different ways how you can enter information into this. So I'm going to go ahead and click that as save. You see when I click save, it clears the entire form. It's ready for your next trade to be set up. Under the trade log, all of these trades are recorded and stored, and they're always there for a record to go back and review. And they notice that they mention if it's closed. Here's the open trade on Macy's, and even your planned trades that have not been executed yet are all listed here, and you can bring them up at any time and look at that trade. Now, under the performance view, this is where this software really begins to shine. It actually takes all of this data that we've put in and crunches the numbers for you so that you can see how you're doing, see what's working for you, and get all of this data. Very easy how it comes to you. Just automatically calculates all of this. You can see this red line is the S&P 500 or the SPY, and you can see that I'm outpacing the SPY in my trading currently. You can set a date range and just look at a specific date range, how you're doing on this graphical interface. Now, this is the different settings for the market bias, and the reason we want to put that in is we want to make sure that if we're trading against the market or whatever, that it's going to show us how we're working, what's working for us. If we are constantly trading against the market direction, we're going to find that we will probably struggle to make money. And this is going to be that place where it's going to display that information for you. Here, short, I only had one short trade in here, and so it's only showing this single bar. This will obviously be much more informative once you've done multiple short positions. in your trading and have lots more data points to look at. It breaks your trading down to day of the week, days that trades were entered, days that trades were exited, and you can see a very clear look at how you are doing based on your days of the week. You may find that there's a day of the week that you're not doing very well, and you'd be better off just going fishing. Um, that's where you're gonna. This is where you're gonna get that information. It's going to break it down graphically, and it's going to break it down statistically for you. Your long patterns, these are the candlestick patterns or the charting patterns that we trade. You see the consolidation, the pullback opportunity, round bottom breakout. These are patterns that we trade a lot in hit and run candlesticks. And you can see it will break out as many of these trading patterns as you trade. We'll break them down and we'll show you what's working best for you. I mean, why continue to do something that's not doing as well as other patterns that might be producing a lot better return? Same thing is true on your short patterns. Breaks those down so you can see what's working the best for you, and then also breaks it down based on candlesticks, the candlestick patterns. You can see bull engulfing, bull hammer, bullish morning star, a bear kicker, all of these different candle patterns, and it's showing me how I did based on those candle patterns. And it looks right here. Now there's not much data here, only 4 trades with bull engulfing, but obviously I was doing pretty well with a bull engulfing candle within my patterns, and second place would be the morning star. The others were lagging behind. Well, maybe I just want to create a scan to look for these two, because apparently I do a pretty good job at identifying those trades, better than I'm finding here. So with this software, it breaks down all of this data, makes it very easy to use, and with the goal view, it's helping you realize that you do not have to swing for that home run on every trade. What we want you to do, what we want you to consider doing, is in your planning of your trading, is that you're planning your trades to achieve a goal. And that means consistently pulling money out of the market, not always trying to stretch yourself out for that great big giant win. Be consistent in your trading, consistently take money out of the market. And by using this trade view, you can see on any one of these trades, it's giving us that this stock only had to go from my entry price of 421 to 435 for me to reach my goal in this trade. Very simple and easy to identify, so you can plan your trades accordingly and make sure that you're not doing or stretching yourself out there so far. Take money out of the market consistently. That's what a professional trader does. That's what we must do if we want to be full-time traders, is be working toward taking that profit consistently out of the market. This helps us do that. It avoids the greed. It helps you avoid all of that emotion. And one of the things that is really clear here is it helps you decide how much risk that you're taking, and can you accept that risk in this trade. I'll tell you, there are many times that a trade just looks perfect on a chart, and I lay it out in a trade plan, and I'm risking far too much money to my stop loss for me to make that trade happen. So I either have to do one of two things: adjust the trade to make it more acceptable, or just find another trade, which is probably the best way to go. So using this software, you get lots of information, lots of data to help you with your trading and avoid those emotions. Now, the setup tab here, I will show you real quick. The setup tab is where we set up all of the information for your trading. And by the way, we're going to do, this is just an overview. There will be a detailed video made on each section of the software, so that you'll have plenty of information on how to go through here, but you can see right here on this sample account, you can add as many accounts as you want, add or remove accounts, set up the value of your accounts, what your comparison symbol is. You can even make this Microsoft if you want. Whatever symbol you want to compare your trading to. Set up your commissions in here. And then you start looking at the long patterns. You can change any of this information and user define as many patterns as you want for long trading, short trading patterns, your market bias, how those would work for you, whatever you want those to come out as. You can look at that. All the different candlestick signals, you can put in as many as you want in this list, and just have them in a drop down menu for quick and easy entry into the trade. Here's where you're on your application, where you can change all of your change your font, change your colors, everything in the setup of the software itself. So that is the overview of Trader Vision 2020. I want to thank you for watching the video. When I begin doing the detail of every one of these pages, you're going to see step by step how to go through this software. It's actually very easy to fill out and use, but I can tell you it was pretty complicated to program, and need to thank Ed Carter for his amazing work in helping us make this software a reality. So thank you, Ed, and enjoy the software. If you have questions, feel free to get a hold of us, and look for the videos on the detail and following through to build your trade plan. Okay, thanks everyone.